Back here on GMA, this morning we're taking a look at some of the young people that are taking to the streets. Higher Love, standing up for their future. A new generation of activists and allies demanding change. Rachel Scott joins us from Washington with more on all of this. How you doing, Rachel? Good morning to you.
Hey, Robin, good morning. At the heart of this movement is a new generation of voices from all different backgrounds. They believe this is their moment, and they are demanding to be heard, and they are unwilling to back down. They are young, they are mobilized, and they are demanding the nation take notice.
Our generation will change the world.
From Los Angeles to Atlanta and here in Washington.
We are one voice, we are one people.
We had been told that change was coming, that there would be laws, policies, and practices put in place by our political leaders to make sure that these things didn't happen, and we were lied to. And I think that young people realize that, like, we deserve to live in a world that's much better than this.
These are the faces fighting for change, diverse activists and allies standing together. 23-year-old Ariana Evans says her generation has reached a boiling point.
Nothing has changed. Eric Garner, Sandra Bland. Why? This continual abuse of power is not going to stand with us.
No justice! No peace!
This generation of hundreds of teens and young adults protesting have been rocked by unrest. An 18-year-old today would have been in the 4th grade when Trayvon Martin was murdered, 7th grade when Tamir Rice was killed by police in Cleveland, and just entering high school when Philando Castile was murdered by police in 2016.
Yesterday was my first time protesting, but we've been tired. I've been tired. I've cried over this for years. We've been fighting the same battle.
7 years ago when we said Black Lives Matter, people were saying, why? People were questioning. We have a black president. Why do we need to say that? There was a real binary between Black Lives Matter and all lives matter. And now people get it. People get that when black communities are suffering, it means that we're all suffering.
The images of today's protests mirroring those from the civil rights era. Young Americans then banding together too, pushing for racial equality. And now, over 50 years later, that fight continues.
We want institutional change. We want this whole system torn down. We want police to have better training. We want them to actually follow their guidelines for force. We want them to do their jobs, to protect and serve us. We want to be economically equal. That's all. That is all we want.
And this new wave of activists is part of the most diverse generation in American history. Many of them tell me they are first-time protesters, and they believe real change will only come when everyone takes a stand together. Robin?
That's what's going to take. And Rachel, what was it like for you to spend so much time out there on the streets with protesters?
Well, Robin, you can hear the passion coming from these young protesters. They say they are tired, they are exhausted, they want to see change, and they want to send a message to this president and to the rest of the nation that they're not going to back down, and they're going to continue to fight until their voices are heard. Robin?
All right. You take care, Rachel.